Hey everybody, JR here. Welcome to Wednesday morning. It is around 9 a.m. on Wednesday, and that's Central Daylight Time. I got to get used to that. I'm so used to that Pacific time for all those years. And I really want to throw a special thanks out to a lot of you guys who are regulars, who have switched your time with me. Heck, it's a 2-hour difference. I'm coming at you 2 hours earlier, and man, I really appreciate you being here. You have no idea, that support really means a lot. I really want to thank you for that. And also, I want to remind you, and let me get over here. I've got an iPad here, I've got my laptop here, and I've got my phone over here. So I'm kind of going between all these different things here. And there's an ad running right now on my video, which is a good thing because that means I just made money. So I just happened to notice that here. But anyhow, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit that subscribe button down there, turn it from red to gray. Don't forget to ring the bell, turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live. Man, I'm glad to be here today. I'm super glad to be here today. I'm looking out over the yard. You guys can't see it because I flipped this thing around. But man, it's just a wonderful day. I feel healthy. I feel good. I don't have the illness, which is nice. Now, we do have a guy coming over though that does have it. He's going to be working on a garage floor. So I think I'm going to leave him out there and I'm going to stay indoors is how I'm going to do that. But we're getting it all epoxied in there. We just moved in this new house. And by the way, today's subject is going to be how to warm up your email list. And that is a brand new email list, or maybe you have an email list that's dead and you haven't worked it for a while. So either way, these methods are going to work for you. I'll give you all the steps to it. But anyhow, when we moved into this house, the garage actually was for my wife's cats. I'm allergic to cats. And when we got here, the garage floor, we had it epoxied with this design put on it and all, and they did a horrible job. They just did a horrible job. It was all rough and bumpy and it was some spots were dry and some spots were smooth. And I mean, if you tried to mop it, you would shred a mop. It was just really bad. So we're having to have that all redone. It's been almost 7 weeks now since we moved in, and it still is not fixed. But we're hoping next week. I've gotten notice this morning that the guy's going to be coming, and he's the one with COVID. Whoops, I shouldn't say that. He's the one with the illness. Okay, he's the one that's not feeling well, and they say he was on his deathbed like a week ago, and now he's coming over to work on a garage. So I hope he doesn't bring any cooties with him. I really do. I don't want that. But bottom line is hopefully I'll get that done. That'll be the last stage because what we have now is she has some geriatric cats. I mean, they're all over 13 years old probably. And they're all staying in one bedroom in the house so that they don't get in the house because I'm allergic to them. We only have one small dog in the house, and that's Kim. And some of you guys have seen Kim before, but she's awesome. She's really awesome. Matter of fact, maybe when my wife gets up, we can, bring her in here. You can meet Kim. But anyhow, what I'd like to talk about is you warming up that email list. So this week has been a series of you building your business. If you've been following along, I'm not selling you anything. Day one was building your brand. Then day two was getting emails. And now we're going to have to warm up that email list so that we get people in the fold, really in the fold. So I'm going to go through a whole list of things. Now, keep in mind, like I said, this can be used to warm up a fresh email list, or it can be used for an email list that, you really haven't done anything with and you want to re-warm it up. So you want to, if it's a list that you hadn't been mailing to, you need to reintroduce yourself because sometimes people will forget about you. And remind them why they subscribed in the first place. Now, if it's a new email list, it's really simple. You just introduce yourself and say, hey, you subscribe to my list because, and let's say, for example, my survival food list, because you're looking for ways to protect yourself and your family and be prepared for any emergencies, disasters, or anything that could go wrong. So that's the kind of stuff. And I would tell them who I am. I don't like to talk to an email list like a business. I like to talk to them as an individual. So all my emails go out, and you guys know this, as JR. Hey, this is JR here. I'm talking to you. I'm a real human being. I'm not some big corporation, nothing like that. So you want to say little things like, hey, John, and you do want to have that personalization in there. With Kartra, which is the software I use, I'll give you the link to it when we're done here today. But with that software, you can insert their name in there, and you can say, hey, this is JR with Survivalcave Food. And then explain how you're going to add value to their lives. Throughout my emails, I'm going to show you tips, tricks, and secrets on how you can protect your home, your family, and yourself and be safe during any type of emergencies or anything like that. By the way, your audio is really good today. Thank you so much, Paul. I've done a lot of tweaks, and I'm going to make it better. As a matter of fact, I filmed yesterday. I filmed 12 videos, and oh my God, that was arduous. It's been a while since I filmed 12 in one day. The previous week, I think I filmed 4, which wasn't much, but I filmed 12. And I'm going to change the camera. I'm going to get a wide angle lens on the camera so it'll show more of the room. I think it'll have more detail because right now it looks kind of scrunched down. But the camera I'm using now is one of those Logitech cameras that plugs into my computer, and it's a pretty good quality one, but it's not great. And the one thing I did do today is I set it on high definition, so hopefully you guys will be getting a little bit better picture. I don't know. So then what you want to do with your list after you've said, hey, greetings, this is JR, and tell them what they're going to get. Let them know what you've been up to. People love to hear about your life. Say, hey, I've been working on a new freeze-dried line of foods, been, talking to different manufacturers and packaging companies. We're going to come up with a really good line. I want to let you guys know that that's going to be hitting here real soon. Okay. So I let them know that. And then I let them know some really great stuff that's going to happen or that's going to go on down the road. I may even offer them something free at that point. The things you don't want to do is draw attention to the fact if you haven't written them in a while. Don't say, hey, really sorry, but I've been real lazy and I haven't written in a while. Yeah, don't do that. Just leave that out. They're going to know you haven't written in a while. You don't have to remind them of that. But if it's a new list, obviously you would just leave that part out. Don't make the reintroduction long and painful. The first email that goes out to them, don't make it real long, guys. This is just reintroducing or introducing yourself. Don't waffle about selling yourself. Okay. Go ahead and let them know, what you do and what you've got and all that good stuff. Here's an example of how not to do it. Okay. I'm going to read an email to you. This is an example of how not to do it. Hey, Bob, I know it's been a while since you've heard from me. I'm really sorry for the absence. I've had some health problems. My Aunt Sally died. Then my friend got fired from her job and her husband is on disability and they're in really tight bind right now and they need some help. So I've been busy with other stuff too. So that's why I've been gone for a while. Will you forgive me? I'm really sorry. Oh. I don't want to hear that. Do you want to hear that? No way I want to hear that. Okay. So don't do stuff like that. Don't write like that. Okay. So the next thing you want to do, number 2, and understand when somebody when somebody subscribes to your list, they're doing it because they want to get something of value. They don't need more emails. They don't need more fluff. They don't need more BS being sent to them. Okay. They want something of value. So step 2 is give them something of value. Let's see here. Picture quality is really good too. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. So give them something of value. Okay. One of the quickest way to re-engage people on your list is provide them, and let them know that you're going to help them out. Okay. Whether you're giving them tips or tricks or providing entertainment with a purpose, you'll show then why they're going to look forward to getting your stuff and opening your emails, because when they do, they're going to get something of value. Okay. Otherwise there's no point. There's no point at all. All right. So things you should do. Give them a freebie, a gold nugget of some sort, either within the email itself or through a link that they can click for immediate access. Now, I like the link, and the reason I like the link is because you get them to do something. Okay, you get them involved. They're more involved that way. And also you can tag them. They were interested in my download on 5 ways to make money through SEO. Okay, whatever it was, and you can tag them. So you've got one more piece of information about that individual. So later on, if you have a course that comes out on SEO, you can look for all the people that are tagged with SEO and you can send them an email and those are going to be a good list. So you can do that. Next thing, and guys, don't forget, I'm constantly looking over here at your comments. So I love getting your comments. I love getting your questions. Any suggestions you have, put them in that chat section. If you're watching this later on and it's no longer live, you can put it in the comment section below. I do come back through it and look at all that. So the things you could give them are tips and tricks. Okay, tips and tricks. You may want to jot some of these things down. Tips and tricks people love. When you say I've got 10 tips or 10 tricks on how to make more money in e-commerce or whatever it is, they're going to love it. Also, complimentary service with no strings attached. So maybe you have some service that you're going to provide, but you're not selling them anything. You're just going to provide them with some free service. That's a really good thing to do. With the up and coming holiday season almost upon us, when do you start your holiday savings mailings? I'm actually going to be doing, that's a good question, Paul. And I was literally not sleeping the day before last because I was running through my brain what I'm going to do for Thanksgiving. I have a Thanksgiving mailer that I do, and I run it for 5 days. Maybe I'll share that with you guys and show you exactly what we do. It's hugely profitable. It usually earns me 6 figures in 5 days, which I mean, to me is pretty good. To some of you, it may not be a lot of money, but to me, 6 figures in 5 days is pretty nice. So I'll be running that, and it'll have a countdown on it, and I'll probably walk you guys through that and kind of show that to you. The other thing you can do is special reports. People like special reports. That's a cool thing. If you have any type of printable graphics or helpful reminders, that's another good one you can do. Downloadable file of hacks. That's a good one. Maybe you've got a short ebook. You could send that to them. Ultimate, I like this. When you say ultimate step-by-step or ultimate quick start guides, those are really good. That's a good title for something. I also like quizzes. So if you have a fun quiz with immediate results tailored for them, I just did one the other day for entrepreneurs. So if you didn't get that one, you may want to check that out. I probably will put that on my site at some point, but that's a really cool one. Let's see, what else? A cheat sheet. Maybe you got a little cheat sheet, like a checklist thing to help them out. Maybe you've got a resource list of different resources you use. Down in the description of this video, you're going to see a resource list of like all the camera equipment and lighting and stuff that I have. So you can click any of those things. I always have that for you. Maybe you have a downloadable audio or a video that they can get and listen to at a later date or watch at a later date. Be genuine about your desire to serve. Okay. Really serve people. I think that's so super important. That's kind of been my whole thing every day. And I woke up today to see here, James Green, I delete 90% of emails with links. Okay. So he doesn't like to click. Hey, Tyann, what's going on? She finally showed up. Good morning, y'all. Hey, Tyann, I saw a picture of you and your husband. Holy crap. Your husband's so much taller than you. I mean, it's amazing how much taller he is than you. Let's see here. So yeah, that was a funny picture. I like that. What length of an email is optimal? If this is, Paul's just asking that question. If this is a re-engagement or an engagement, in other words, this fresh list, or it's trying to re-engage a list, I like it really short, really short. Because if you do this long drawn out thing on your first email, you're going to wear them out. I don't really like super long drawn out emails anyhow. You get emails from me, maybe they're, 10 sentences of that. That's about all I do. But I'm not saying that the long ones don't work. Some people love those long ones. I personally don't like to read long ones. Also explain how the freebie will help them. So if you are given a freebie, let them know how it's going to help them specifically. Remind them that stuff like this is your specialty. This is what you do. And hint that there's a whole lot more to come. Okay, so let them know there's more to come, because otherwise they could unsubscribe if they think that's all I'm going to get. Well, I'm done. And promise and deliver hot industry news, updates, new ways to do things, new softwares, anything like that. Don't sell anything on this re-engagement or this first engagement. The product is you. Okay, so you're giving of yourself, and it's going to be free. Don't give them crappy or misleading freebies. No ebooks that are like 2 or 3 pages long. Okay, don't do that. Don't do that. Nothing that has any typos or errors or bad pictures in it. Okay, don't make yourself look cheap, and don't make it look like you don't put forth any effort, because they're going to see that and they're going to say, well, I'm not going to learn anything from this person, because they're lazy. They don't even do it right. No freebies that has nothing to do with your service or their needs. Okay, so don't, if I'm teaching people how to prepare their homes and families for emergencies, don't send them a thing about best places to go fishing. Okay, that wouldn't make any sense whatsoever. Okay, well, maybe it might a little bit because they need food, but you get the point. Nothing that's common knowledge that everybody can get. Like, don't send them, what is a Homeland Security report or something like that they can go get from Homeland Security. Don't do that. Don't send them anything that's super confusing or difficult. If they see anything that's super confusing or difficult, they're going to think all your stuff is confusing and difficult. Make them give you loads of info, asking for their phone number, address, all that stuff. Don't do that. Okay. Don't make them give you a bunch of information they don't want to do. We've recently added phone number to our opt-in forms, but it's not required. And the only reason we add it is we never call you, but every now and then I'll send a text like for my Saturday training. So I do have that on there. Don't make it difficult to get the download. I mean, make it as simple as possible. I mean, I don't even feel like I should have to say that. But I do have to say that because some people make this stuff difficult. Let me get a sip here. All right, let's see here. What do we got? Like 2 foot difference. Oh my gosh, Tyann. Guys, if you don't know Tyann Nelson, if you don't mind, Tyann, go to her Facebook page. She is like under 5 feet and her husband is like, what, 6'7", something like that. It's like, it's unbelievable the difference. There's a picture. She's got a picture of her and her husband. It's really kind of cool. I like it. And my wife's a lot shorter than me too. She's like 5 feet and I'm like 6'1". So we've got a foot difference for what that's worth. James Breen says, right on, get to the point fast. Yes. You know what, James? I didn't say it exactly that way, but that's a good way to put it. Get to the friggin' point, man. Don't ramble on about a bunch of crap. What are you going to do for them? How are they going to get value from you? At the beginning of all my videos, at the beginning of this training today, I tell you up front, this is what I'm going to talk about. This is what I'm going to do today. And I do that for 2 reasons. I do that to keep you around so that you'll listen, but I also do it because if it's not what you're interested in, I want to release you and let you go. If you say, well, I don't care about re-engaging a list. I don't care about engaging a list. If that's what you're going to talk about, I could go do something else. And I want to allow you to do that because I don't want to waste your time if that's not what you're interested in. If you're interested in learning SEO today, this is not the video for you. I'm not talking about SEO. So, get to the point. Like James says, get to the point. Tyann says, I love text reminders. That's good. I don't want to, send people stuff, and bother them. So if you ever get a text from me, it's like one line. It's like, I'm going live on this subject, click here. That's it. And I usually do it like, maybe 15 minutes before I go live because you don't need a text from me 2 days prior to me doing something. Let's see. Correct. 4 feet 10 and he's 6'7" or 8. Yeah, guys, the picture, it's amazing. And they're both good looking people. So it's a cool looking picture to look at. Let's see. Paul says, does Kartra show if you're getting opens of emails? 100%. They'll show you how many opens you got, Paul. They'll show you how many clicks you got. They'll show you what your revenue is on that email. I mean, all the analytics are there. That's why I like it because I can tell how well, and you can do that with sequences. So you can get analytics on an entire sequence. So let's say you sent out 9 emails over 3 days. You can tell what that sequence did for you. So I've got like profitable sequences and ones that aren't so profitable and in between ones. And that's all due to Kartra. And Kartra does all this for you. It's all automated. And the cool thing is, I was talking to you about the Thanksgiving sequence that I use that earns me 6 figures. And what I can do is I can just copy that sequence, the entire sequence, all the emails, everything. And I can just go in and change it for this year. I have to change the links if I'm going to switch to a different landing page or different product or whatever. The other thing you can do is you can use the same pages. Maybe you've got price changes in there, stuff like that. And you can just change the product that pops in there and the price changes. But it makes it so easy because I don't have to write that whole sequence every year. I can just, copy it and do it. And I probably should walk you guys through that so you can see that. Man, I love your questions, guys. I love your comments, guys. I love that you're using this chat section. And what this does when you do that and you ask this question, somebody else may have said, oh yeah, I didn't realize it did that. So you're helping somebody else out. Every time you put a question in there, every time you put a comment in there, you're actually helping another individual. So don't just think of it as I'm getting my question answered. Think of it as, I'm helping other people because you essentially really are. I've had so many people say when, Bob asked that question, when Jenny asked that question, when James gave that comment, that really helped me out because I didn't even know that, or I didn't realize that, or that was a question I had too. So that's really important. I'd appreciate a text with a link to your live streams. I don't always get a reminder from YouTube. Yeah, man, I'm so torn on that, James, because I don't want to wear people out. If I was just doing my Saturdays, I don't mind texting people, but I don't want to wear out text. So if I do a live every single day and you get a text from me every single day, and I know you appreciate it and you're cool. I love you to death, James. Some people are going to go, I don't want to get text from him every day. And then they're going to, unsubscribe and then I can't send them any text. So I've kind of I'm kind of on the edge with that. I try to do the same thing with emails. I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to bug you guys, but I want to get out to you. Richard Senta, hello from Cancun. That's my buddy, Richard. I've known Richard for, gosh, Richard, what's it been? 6 years. I started doing meetups in San Diego, and he came in with Zeus, his dog. He has a beautiful dog. And he sat, and I did these live things in San Diego, and we recorded them and actually made a course out of it. That is Ecom Road, I believe it is. Ecom Road is that course. But Richard showed up there. We became friends. I've seen him over the years. We meet up every now and then. And now that I'm in Texas, Richard, you're out in Cancun. Richard is from Houston, Texas. You probably got out of here because of the hurricane. I wouldn't doubt that. Houston was kind of close to New Orleans. So our step 3, guys, we're at step 3 now. I want you to end with a simple call to action in every single communication. Always have a call to action. Now, James said earlier, if he has a bunch of links, he'll delete the email. And I get that. Some people do. But James likes getting text. Everybody's different. There's no way to do this stuff to where everybody's happy all the time. I'm always going to have somebody mad at me. I'm always going to have somebody happy with me. I get some of the most beautiful emails. I had one the other day where a person just complimented me up and down about how nice it was, how well we packaged our canned meats, and how much time we took to make sure that no damage was done to them. I thought, wow, that's really nice of them. That's a really cool thing to do it. Let's see. Hey, I'm opting for a text. Okay, James, I got your vote. Richard Senta, what kind of dog do you have? Tyann wants to know what kind of dog you have. He has a beautiful dog, and he'll tell you. I don't even know. It's a really different looking dog. Beautiful dog. I love that dog. We've been out to lunch several times, and the dog will just sit underneath the table and have lunch with us, but doesn't bother you, doesn't do anything, just sits there. Beautiful dog. So you'll want to tie things together by promising to deliver more valuable content, okay? These steps are so important. Showing appreciation. You have to appreciate your audience. Guys, I appreciate you so much. These people that are on this call right now have taken time out of their day. I mean, you could do anything with your time. You could be anywhere. You could spend time with anybody. So in doing so, you have to appreciate people, my goodness, if they buy your product, they listen to you, they read your emails, whatever, thank them for doing so. So always do that. Showing appreciation and offering them instant access to a freebie with a clickable link. Make it as exciting and easy as possible to get them to follow through on whatever it is you're asking them to do. And be sure, you want to keep in mind that a call to action doesn't have to be huge. Something as simple as hit reply to let me know you got this. I mean, you could even do that. That's a call to action. Or click this link to download your free ebook is all it takes. When signing off, let them know that you'll be in touch again soon, and sign off with a friendly goodbye. I always say cheers, JR. Cheers. It's been a good experience with you. I like that. You also want to include subscription setting adjustments or an unsubscribe link in a PS or similarly low key place. Now, with Kartra, the software I use, that's built into the email. You don't have to do that, but I put that in here because some of you don't use Kartra. I have no idea why you don't, because you should be using Kartra. I'll have a link in the description after this video, but you can personalize them and try to reclaim your subscriber one last time. So when they go to that page, the thank you page for unsubscribing could be, did you do this by accident? Would you like to resubscribe? And you can have a subscribe button there. So that's pretty important. Now, there is a video I have here, and it's on, let me see if I can show this, but this one here is a HubSpot unsubscribe video. And I'm going to try to share my screen with you guys. And I'm going to try to show this to you. Give me 1 second here, because I think this is a pretty funny one. And let me click it. Okay, I get it. Wait a second. I'm going to get it. And I want to play this video for you guys. Let me get over here real quick to StreamYard, because this is an unsubscribed video that HubSpot did. I think it's hilarious. And I know you guys are going to like it. So give me 1 second here. Share screen. I'm going to share my whole screen. You guys should be able to see the screen. Okay, and then you'll be able to see it in just 1 second. Let me turn the volume up here. Okay, well, the volume's pretty high. That'll be good. Okay, so if you can see my screen now, I think you can. I'm going to go ahead and close this part, and I'm going to play this for you. And here we go. Okay, I get it.
you don't want to hear from me anymore. That's fine. I wanted to make sure you had the best marketing information available. I mean, you clicked on the emails, I know you clicked on them. I know what you clicked on. Okay, that sounds kind of creepy. I wasn't like cyber stalking. Like I wasn't checking out your Facebook page or anything like I was. Just forget that part. It was a notification. I didn't even look for it. It popped up.
Oh, it's definitely over. I just blew it there.
Remember when we had that webinar? Remember? Maybe if things were just a little, maybe I could change. I you don't need email. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on LinkedIn a fair bit. I mean, we could be friends with benefits, right?
Okay, so I thought that was pretty good. I just stopped sharing this. I'm going to try to get back to my screen here. Where's my StreamYard? There it is. Okay, so I'm back to my screen here. So that's one of the things you can do. Now, some people will say, oh, whoops, I did that by accident. Click here to resubscribe. But that's a little video you can do. So you can do this stuff with humor. And what that page is when they unsubscribe, it takes them to a page that says they unsubscribed. And on that page, you can put a video like that, which I think is hilarious. And that may save you some unsubscribes. So, I would check that out. I would try to do that. And you can do that in Kartra. That can be all automated, so you don't have to worry about it. All right, let me get back to my list here. Of things. And I think I was on my number 4. Let me see here. Give me 1 second, guys. Number 3. There's the video I just showed you. Okay, yes. And on number 4, keep things warm and fuzzy. I got a couple of questions here. Tyann says cute. Richard Senta says Shar-Pei is his dog. So he has a Shar-Pei. Beautiful dog, guys. Sweet, loving, beautiful dog. But he has a Shar-Pei. Is there a best day of the week to send this out? Really, when I'm doing a engagement email, it falls on whatever day of the week that they actually got on the list. So when somebody joins my list, within an hour, they're going to get an engagement email. Now, if you're talking about doing a re-engagement to your list, what you need to do is figure out what days they open your emails. Now, this is a little tricky. And this is a little tricky because if you're sending all your emails on Saturday and Sunday, let's say you send all your emails on Saturday and Sunday, guess what day of the week you're going to have the most opens? Saturday and Sunday. So if you're not sending emails every single day, even though Kartra will tell you your best open days, it'll show you statistics and charts and graphs and all that, it is warped by the fact that those are the days you send the emails. So of course you're going to have the most opens on those days. So that's something that is really individual for a different business. Like my opens for J.R. Fisher training are a whole lot different on different days than they are for Survivalcave food. They're just different. Richard says, I'm headed to Texas to do a road trip to Dallas in a few days, then another great one to New York City. Great stuff today. I need to rewatch it. Okay, that's cool. I appreciate that. So keep things warm and fuzzy. Getting that initial email is just the first step. If you're going to go through the trouble of re-engaging your list, you're going to want to continue that engagement over and over, okay? Some things that you should do is you want to kind of look at the big picture, plan ahead, get an idea of the content that you want to share, and if it can be broken down into a series. People love series. They like all the steps. They like getting through it. Take time to map out warm sequence to follow your initial email and schedule the delivery. So it could look like, you're going to have a reintroduction email or an introduction email if it's a new list. And then the next one could be getting their input on topics that they'd like to hear about in the future, how often they'd like to receive communications from you, what formats they prefer. This can be done as simple as setting up a short survey or requesting a reply. To schedule personal call, you could also do that. Next thing, you could update them on the latest industry trends and news. You could plan and schedule other content and series based on certain topics. You could reach out using release schedule that you can set up and maintain long-term. The things you should not do is email unpredictably. Don't do that. You want to stay consistent. How often you release content as well as when you release content. I see a lot of email marketers do that. They get a burst of energy and all of a sudden for 2 weeks, they're sending me emails every single day and then I don't hear from them for 2 months. That's just weird. Don't do that, guys. Don't immediately jump into asking for favors or selling stuff to them. Don't do that. They need to get more from you than you ever sell to them. Send content that's all over the place or offers no value. Don't do that. Make sure it's consistent. It makes sense. Don't assume that they stick around for the first few emails, that they'll stick around forever, because they won't. People do unsubscribe. I have unsubscribes. I have people that leave for whatever reason, in all your communications, you're going to want to make sure that your content is well written, personable, and confident. Boost your credibility by delivering on promises and staying in touch. Now, I know several internet marketers that will intentionally put errors in their email to get people to engage, so that people will reply back and go, oh, you spelled this word wrong, or you used the wrong word here, or whatever. I've experimented with that, I will say, a little bit, and it's called attention interrupt, where you actually intentionally make a mistake to see what people will do. A few other things that you might want to consider, though. Make sure you got a really strong subject line. And I have some downloads for subject lines. You can check that out. That will increase your open rate. Don't bombard the emails with images. Images will slow loading time for your readers. I've really kind of experimented with taking the images out of a lot of my emails. Don't remind them of other channels that they can check out and get in touch with you, because this is this one medium right here. If you've got a larger list, send in batches of 5,000 or less, so that if people unsubscribe, mark you as spam, you're less likely to be flagged by your email service provider. So you want to do it in chunks. Paul says, when are you doing your next live? It will be tomorrow, Paul. I'm doing one every single day of this week. I'm walking you through the whole process of selling online. Monday was branding. Tuesday was building a list. Wednesday is today, which we're engaging that list and building confidence in that list. And then I have the others scheduled. If you want to look on the channel, you'll see the Thursday and Friday ones and what I'm going to be covering there. Make sure you personally respond to emails when you get them as soon as you can. If your list is too long or large to do this, hire somebody to do it, but do respond. That's super important. Always encourage feedback, excitement, involvement. Okay. If they don't feel vested in your company, if they don't feel like they're involved with your company, they're probably going to fall off. James Breen, James Ulcher displays unsubscribe prominently at the top of his emails. No need to hunt for tiny print hidden somewhere in the bottom. I bet James doesn't get many unsubscribes. Yeah, and I've seen people use little tricks in emails. I'm not going to say who they are, but they'll put things like report this as spam. They'll put a big banner in there. When in fact they're not reporting it as spam. When they click on that link, what it does is it just unsubscribes them and takes them off the list. So that way they say they're preventing people from reporting them as spam. I don't believe in doing that. I believe that you ought to be honest about it. If somebody wants to report me as spam, let them do it. But I know people who do that. And I guess that cuts down on their spam, or spam reporting. You've got an arsenal of information on how to win over people now. You've got all these steps on how to win people over. If you do these things, if you set these things up, and I think a lot of people don't set this up because it's a lot of work. They go, oh my gosh, that's a lot of emails to write. That's a lot of stuff to do. But keep in mind, guys, you only have to do this once. Okay, once you do this, if you have a software like Kartra, and I will have a link for Kartra where you can watch a video and see everything it does. It'll be in the description. But once you set this up, it's automated, okay? And it can be there for literally years if you want it to be. Then you can move on to something else, but you do need something like Kartra that can automate this stuff. Super important that you have the right software to do it. Automation in online marketing, digital marketing is just so very important. Guys, give me some input. What do you think of today's training? Put that in the comment section there. What can I improve on? What can I do more for you guys? That's my goal, is to do more for you guys. I figured out over the years, here's what I figured out. The more stuff I do for free of super high quality, the more money ends up flowing my way somehow. I don't know how. I got a check yesterday, day before, from an insurance company. It was a refund. I didn't expect it. It just popped in the mail. I don't know why. I don't know how it happened. The luckier I feel I am, the luckier I become. So, if you're telling yourself you're unlucky or bad things happen to you all the time, that's what's going to happen. Make a mental shift today. My wife and I do that, and we say we're just lucky people. We're just very lucky people. And we say that all the time. And that doesn't mean that bad things don't happen. Bad things do happen. But for the most part, we're pretty darn lucky. And it's because we believe we're lucky. We believe we're positive. And my other thing is, what's your alternative to believing you're lucky is believing you're unlucky. Why would you want to do that? Don't you think that that's going to kind of bring some bad karma your way? And you say, well, JR, I'm a very unlucky person. You have no idea what I've been through. You know what? If I looked at all the negative things that happened in my life, I could interpret it as I'm a very unlucky person. If I looked at all these negative things that happened to me in life, health issues, and I had a heart operation a few years back, and I could say, oh my gosh, I'm so unlucky. But I could also say I'm so lucky because I got through it, and now I can go out there and do pull-ups and push-ups and anything I could do before. So what is it that you're thinking about every day? What do you think about? Do you think about you're doing stuff? Now, if you're thinking about doing something and you think it's very difficult and you keep putting it off, that's probably the thing you should do to really move ahead at this point. If I'm like I was avoiding, I got to tell you, I battle with this too. I don't want to lie to you. Yesterday, I had 12 scripts written to do videos. And I thought to myself, well, if I get 4 of them done, since I'm only releasing 3 a week, then of course, I'll have enough for the next week. And that's all I really have to do. So I got my 4 done. Actually, I got 3 done. I went to lunch, came back, I got the 4th one done. And it was early in the day, and my wife was getting ready to go to the doctor, and I got 1 more done. I had 5 done, and she left for her doctor's appointment. And I thought to myself, well, I've got 5. I'm probably pretty good because that's almost a week and a half of videos, and I wouldn't have to do anything for a week and a half. But I still had 7 more scripts, 7 more. And I say scripts, they're more like outlines. And I told myself, well, let me go ahead and do 2 more, okay? And I did 2 more, and I think it was up to 7 or 8. I can't remember I don't remember the exact numbers. I'm like, 8's a good number. 8's pretty good, but I probably should do 1 more because that way I'll have 9, and that's actually 3 weeks of stuff to do. So I'm doing this battle in my mind, okay? And but I kept reminding myself, I said, but JR, you wrote 12 scripts. You said you were going to do 12. So then I think I got to 11, and my wife came home, and it was getting late in the day, close to dinner time, and I had 11 out of 12. I'm like, you know what? 11 out of 12 is pretty darn good. I got to start dinner soon. Now, keep in mind, these scripts take me about 15 minutes to record. So you can multiply out, 12 times 15, but there's a lot of setup before and after, and there's a lot of downtime during those. So it's the actual recording time may be 15 minutes, but it could be 30 minutes or whatever. So I finally said to myself, come on, you got 1 more to do. You can't do 1 more and just finish off all your scripts. And I did the 1 more, and now I've got 12 recorded today that now I've got to edit. And I don't mean complete edits. What I do is I do some basic edits, and then I give that to my video editor, and he finishes it up. Hello, Billy. How you doing? Speaking of scripts, can you do a video on script development and maybe script template outline? I have done a video on that. I could do more, Paul, but if you look on my YouTube channel, I did that, I think just 2 or 3 months ago on setting up scripts for YouTube. So if you search that, you will find it, but I can revisit it. And I know, and that's another thing, guys, if you're doing content and you say, well, I've already done a video on that, so I can't do it again. That's not true. You can have a new twist on it. It could be a little bit different. You can do videos on the same subject, especially, guys, and I got to get out of here, but especially if you have a YouTube channel and you see that a lot of people are watching a particular video, do another video that's similar to that video on the same subject, or do another video on a different subject, but is like that video, because obviously that's what people like. You want to give people what they like, not what you want to do on, okay? Not what you want to do videos on, but what people want and what they need. Solve their problems, help them out. What you give comes back to multiplied. Kindness and generosity equal that elusive thing we call happiness, which most people believe is always somewhere else. Man, that's well put, James. That's well put. And I'm going to share with you a trick I learned about driving in just a second. How's the planning coming for cooking videos? The planning is coming awesome. I just haven't done it yet. I have some pendant lights I'd like to put in the kitchen, but I was watching some videos last night of a guy who does cooking stuff, and his area looks awful. So that's not that's an excuse, I think. I need to just get in there and start getting that done, Paul. And the other thing is, once I get started on it, I can't stop. So I'm going to be committed to it. So it's going to take a big chunk of time. Peace and blessings always, everyone. Thank you so much, James. And let me tell you my hack for driving. Do you ever get perturbed at other drivers? Do you ever get bothered by other drivers? And I'd like to see your comments in the chat section, because I'm going to tell you how to cure all this. I'm going to tell you how to cure all this to where you don't get mad at other drivers ever again. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So put in the comment section, do other drivers irritate you? Are you in a state where they have bad drivers? Now, what's funny is I've been in most of the states in the United States. And I would tell you, anybody I talk to about traffic in any state always say they have the worst drivers. They always do that. No, I've never been to a state where they go, oh my God, we have awesome drivers here. All the drivers here are really good. Never heard anybody say that. They always say they have awful drivers. So I'm going to tell you how to fix this thing about bad drivers. Let's see here. I will check out the video. Have a blessed weekend after gang. Look forward to seeing you next live. Okay, so here's how you fix the driver thing. I used to get really mad when people would cut me off, when people would pull in front of me, when people would edge me out, and I would get angry. And it ruined a few minutes of my time, not necessarily my day, but it made me uptight driving. It bothered me when I drove. So I developed a plan for this and a cure for this. It's a two-part cure. The first part of the cure is anybody that wants to get in front of me, I let them. Anybody that wants to get in front of me, I let them. It's my rule. I have to do it. It doesn't matter if it's inconvenient. It doesn't matter if I'm running late. It doesn't matter. Anybody that wants to get in front of me on the road is welcome to do so. Welcome to do so. And I won't get mad about it because that's my rule. That's my rule to let. Matter of fact, I have stopped traffic to let people in. Okay, I've done that. Gosh, the other day we found a turtle in the middle of the road and I stopped traffic and another car stopped and we got the turtle out of the middle of the road. So we helped the turtle out, but that's beside the point. So that's the first part. The second part is you don't know who they are. And what I mean by that is you don't know that they aren't rushing to the hospital because a loved one just got in a car crash. You don't know that if they just got fired from their job. You don't know if their significant other just left them. You don't know them. You don't know what's going on in their life. Don't judge their driving. Don't judge their driving because you don't know their life. You don't know their life. And here's the last part of it. Here's the last part of it, which will kind of make you laugh. Some people just aren't good drivers. So you can write it off. If somebody cuts you off, you can go, probably not a good driver, probably not good at this skill. So if you do it that way, if you let people in, if you understand you don't know their life, and if you also understand that some people aren't good drivers, it's hard to get mad anymore because it's almost comical. It's like, man, I feel sorry for them. They're terrible at this. This is not one of their skill sets. Or you can feel sorry for them and say, maybe they got something going on in their life that I don't know about. Okay. And then you fall back on, I have to let everybody in anyhow. Now imagine going out in traffic today and everybody had those three things. And I had to develop those three things. It took me a long time to do it. I mean, when I was a young man, somebody cut me off. I want to jump out of the car and beat the crap out of them. Okay. That was my solution to somebody cutting me off. I'm not like that anymore. I don't do that anymore. Let's see here. Any tips on how I can attract some whale clients like real estate law firms via email, etc.? Yes, I do have some great ways of doing that, Richard. I did a video yesterday and it's on how to get more consulting clients, which is kind of what you do. That video is not live yet, but that will be coming out. I want you to look for that video because that will show you exactly how to do what you want. That's what that video was on. And I put a lot of effort into that video. So I think you'll like that. I have plenty of geezers who drive like crap. I just realized it's not worth my anger. Like you, I let them in front of me. Man, is that the best thing to do or what? James Breen, worst drivers are New Yorkers. Yeah, and they're also the worst drivers are in California because I just left California. And also the worst drivers are in Texas because I now live in Texas. And before that, the worst drivers were Virginia because I lived in Virginia. And they're all bad drivers in all these states. So that's the way it is. Guys, thank you so much for being here today. I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. We've had too much fun. We've been 45 minutes, guys. I'm only supposed to be 30, 45 minutes. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell. Turn all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live. Give me a thumbs up if you would. Thumbs up this video. I would really appreciate it. Thanks so much, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Be here tomorrow, 9 a.m. We're going to continue this on all through the week, all the way through Saturday. So all the way through Saturday, you're going to have a lot of good information, a lot of good notes. If you have any questions, please post those in the comment section afterwards. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, and I will answer those questions. Thanks so much.